Good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you are in the world. This is Roaming Prepper. I'm your host, Pete, and today we're going to do a Monday sit rep for the 24th. I think it's the 24th of March, 2025. Holy cow! It's already March is almost over. It has been an absolute goat rodeo at work, but I can't complain. I mean, I'm healthy. Everyone I love is, for the most part, pretty healthy. And, I mean, what are we? First world problems right now, so I shouldn't complain. I hope all of y'all are doing okay, because it's been a tough 4 years. So, today's situation report, I'm actually going to do a single topic again, because I think this one lends itself. This one came to me through a government release. So it's public info, but it was actually referencing an Associated Press article, and I'll show you the article if you can see it right now. It's AP, and the title is, if you couldn't catch that, Western officials say Russia's behind a campaign of sabotage across Europe. This AP map shows it. And then it goes on to say, Western officials have accused Russia and its proxies of staging dozens of attacks and other incidents across Europe since the invasion of Ukraine 3 years ago, according to the data collected by the Associated Press. They allege the disruption campaign is an extension of Putin's war intended to sow division in European societies and undermine support for Ukraine. This is an example of fifth-generation warfare. It is asymmetric. It is almost imperceptible at times. It is meant to not just disrupt the enemy country from the war effort, but to disrupt it societally. I think the earliest example of fifth-generation warfare would have been when the Germans, in the middle of World War I, brought Lenin out of Sweden and released him into Russia with some weapons to basically start a revolution. Ironically, that backfired, because in World War II, the Russians then came and kicked the crap out of the Germans just through a war of attrition, right? The Russians just threw tanks and people at them until they failed. But yeah, Lenin was not there to be a saboteur. Lenin was not there to blow up railroads. He was there to change the country in such a way that it would oust the Tsar and basically neutralize the country completely. And again, foresight, 30 whatever years later, the USSR, which was created by Lenin's efforts, then came back and attacked Germany. But after Germany kind of attacked them anyway, it's kind of complicated there. But point being, I would argue and I would propose that the first example of fifth-gen warfare actually occurred way back then. Maybe even earlier, but I think that's, in modern history, the most recent. Anyway, going on, the AP documented 59 incidents. Now, the last time I talked about asymmetric warfare in Europe, there were 12, and that was 2 years ago. 59 incidents in which European governments, prosecutors, intelligence agencies, or Western officials blamed Russia, or groups linked to Russia, gangs, immigrants, cyber attacks, propaganda, murders, vandalism, arson, sabotage, and espionage since the start of the 2022 invasion. That blows my mind. Now, this is the map they provide. I don't know if you guys can see that. Shoot, sorry. The reflection's killing it, but you guys may be able to get a view. I encourage you to look it up. Go to Associated Press and look for that, that title I said earlier. The incidents range from stuffing car tailpipes with expanding foam that you get at home repair shops, to a plot to plant explosives in cargo planes. And then there's speculation they would have blamed like Al-Qaeda or some obscure organization. Setting fire to stores in a museum, hacking targeted politicians, computers, hacking infrastructure, and a spying ring that was just convicted in the UK. Let's see. It is often difficult to prove Russia's direct involvement because the Kremlin denies carrying out a sabotage campaign. And the alleged disruption has a double purpose. One is to create political disquiet and undermine citizen support for the war. The other is to undercut support for their own government, and then the other one is to undercut support for Ukraine. So it makes you wonder, these acts of sabotage we're witnessing right now, the 2020 riots, when basically these socialist and communist affiliated organizations, Antifa and all these other ones, BLM, burned the shit out of our cities and disrupted an election, disrupted the country. And now they're attacking Teslas, they're attacking you know, certain shops, certain stores, certain businesses. This is all political disquiet. It is meant to cause difficulty. Now think about it. We get into a war and they recruit a dedicated Antifa guy. How do I know the Antifa guy's not going to shoot me in the battlefield? You know what I mean? Like, it could be that bad. Anyway, so that goes on to give a bunch of descriptions as to what can and could be happening and things to look for. So what do we do as a preparedness community? And this, I try to include this in all my videos. So why am I bringing something up if we don't know what to do with it? Obviously the basics, food, water, medicine, because any kind of asymmetric attack, any kind of disruption like the Europeans are seeing, the burning down of all those chicken and meat processing plants a couple of years ago, right? The derailments a year ago, right? All these things, to me, are precursor events. They honestly, they smack of, wow, someone's disrupting our shit, but we can't put a finger on it because we can't find who did it. That is the best way to disrupt another country, right? So supply chain issues are going to happen. All right. 2, you're going to have runs on the stores. It's going to be like COVID. It's going to be like a hurricane. They're going to be the people who wait till the last minute to go, oh shit, and then take action. So try to stay ahead for the basics, the food, the water, the munitions, the medical, all that stuff. But from a proactive stance, right? That's kind of a preventive stance. The proactive stance, get to know your neighborhood, get to know your neighbors, get involved in your community, go to city council meetings. If the police or the volunteer fire department has a fundraiser, there's farmers markets, community events, be part of that. If you're on Facebook or Instagram, they have a lot of Facebook community groups, you know, the Jonesboro Township Farmers Market page, whatever it is. I'm just making names up, or the, you know, the Houston, Texas events page. Follow this, because people now, honestly, social media, the X, Instagram, Facebook, even Telegram and YouTube in their own ways, TikTok, they're becoming a live news feed, and you have to use discernment. It's not just a Christian thing, it's a practical thing. You need to understand what to believe and what not to believe, and when it may be spun a certain way. But be proactive with what's going on in your community. Get to meet people. Make those relationships now. Know the sheriff. If you're a veteran, get involved in the VFW or a small veterans group. If you don't have one, make one. Find a couple of guys and say, hey, you know what, let's meet once a month at the coffee and bagel shop and let's talk about the world events. Join a gun club, join a fishing club, whatever it is you do. You don't like guns and fishing, maybe you're a biker, you're a runner, join a running club. We actually have a brewery here who has a running club every Thursday. So they run 2 kilometers or 5 kilometers, I don't remember, it's a short run, and then they go drink beer, which to me is insane, but they do that, right? And they're all like this. Maybe I should be doing it, you know, run and drink and don't eat, and I'll lose weight. I don't know. Anyway, get involved in these things, make those relationships, make those friendships. Everything and everyone can be a source of information and knowledge, and that's how we need to approach this. This is how we, as a preparedness, homesteading, pro-home country community, get ahead of the curve. Anyway, folks, that's it for this one. You guys be good, be safe, God bless. I will see you all on my next video later this week.